We're back with Alex Manzo and Massimo Saieva, who's just made a red and a white Roman pizza. I think I called it earlier the red, the rouge, but it's really, I think in Italy they would be called a rosa, right? A rosa red?
Rosa.
And then,
Pizza rosa.
And then the white one would be a bianca, correct?
That's correct, because usually in Italy, the bread maker used to sell this pizza just like this, and the white one like bread. So when we go to the beach, we can eat the pizza cold. And it's
I remember buying big pieces that they weighed out at the Antico Forno, a red and a white, and I walked back to my hotel where my wife was sleeping, and by the time I got there was only this much left because I ate it on the way over. It was so good. But it's a great handheld pizza.
Fabrizio is a great friend, and I mean, actually, I told to when Tony went to Italy, I told to Fabrizio to attend Tony and the other guys of the World Champion team and actually I want to say thank you to Tony Gevignani because he's more than a friend for me. He's like a brother. He helped me a lot with the academy. He sent me a lot of guys that want to learn. So I respect so much Tony, and for real, from my heart, thank you, Tony. Always, thank you.
Thank you for mentioning that, because Tony's been a supporter to so many people. And Fabrizio, who you mentioned, who makes the pizzas in Rome, you introduced me to him when I saw you at the expo last year. So I got to meet Fabrizio too,
Fabrizio is, I think, is the history and is going to be the future of the Roma style pizza, because he's a so nice character. And he can show to everybody what the Roma style pizza is, and we need people like Fabrizio. So it's Rome. So I want to show you now the red pie in two different ways, okay? Because it's not only the one way that we know. So we can play with fresh ingredients like this one. So we have a nice buffalo mozzarella. Now, if you ask me, usually a pizza like this, and we are in Italy, we like to eat this one cold. But in the US, of course, people prefer reheated. So it's okay in our case because the crust is very crispy, the bottom, and then sold. So we have no problem to reheat this pie with all the buffalo mozzarella on top.
So you could eat it just like that with just the cold cheese, or you could reheat it.
That's the buffalo mozzarella cheese on top, like this. Just 1 second. And some oregano, calabrese.
Love that.
Then fresh basil, always.
Basil, yeah. So suddenly we're getting a whole lot of beautiful color contrast as well.
That's the idea. We have to win our customer, gain our customer with the color first.
Yeah, because it's visually stunning, and of course everybody eats first with their eyes.
That's correct. And then, of course, on top of the mozzarella, the extra virgin olive oil.
Now you used fresh mozzarella on top, right? Was it buffalo
mozzarella?
Could you also use? Could you also use burrata?
100%. Remember, this is a freestyle concept on the Roma style pizza. We don't have the rules like
exactly.
So we don't say we have to bake only 3 pizza. That's it. No way. So the Roma style pizza is a 100% evolution every day. So we transform, we create, and that's the beautiful part of the Roma style pizza, is the union between kitchen and pizza together. So there is no limit. for this one. No limit, absolutely. So that was one way, and we
Yeah.
work with the fresh mozzarella, the buffalo mozzarella, like this. Then we have the second way.
Oh man, I just want to get on an airplane and just fly down there and grab a piece of this.
And in this case, we're gonna use a mozzarella, but it's a shredded mozzarella,
Uh-huh.
whole wheat shredded mozzarella, just like this. And I'll show you how easy it is to make the Roma style pizza. So Roma style pizza, I like to say that we win the war before the war starts, right? Because there can be the rush time, 8 p.m. We have the restaurant packed. Who cares? We already have 60, 100 pie ready. And
Yes.
then in just 3 minutes, our pizza is ready. So now I put the extra virgin olive oil, just like this.
Yeah.
We go inside the oven
Back to the oven.
for 3 minutes, just 3 minutes. And now you'll see the difference between the fresh one and the classic one. So once again, we have to respect the ingredient.
Yes.
Buffalo mozzarella, fresh. We have to do it. And the other one, the dry mozzarella, we can bake it without problem. People ask me about the arugula, about the ingredients, the topping. I always say customer is always right, because our goal is to make customer happy. Pineapple, not pineapples, who cares? If people like pineapple in your city, I was in Hawaii, I was making pizza with pineapple, why not? Why pineapple not? And then people make pizza with pumpkin or pasta or I don't know. Actually, I say thank you to the guy that created the Hawaiian because he's famous and people they say pineapple no, they are not. So who cares, right? Ingredients are ingredients. We love everything.
That's right. And for those people who haven't seen all of the array of toppings that could go on there, I know you've got a series of videos on YouTube that where you should demonstrate how, not only how to make the dough and pan it and everything you showed us, but also a whole lot of different finished pizzas that are they're pretty inspiring.
There is no limit. For real, there is no limit. Usually I like to convert the Italian recipe in pizza. So like the pizza matriciana, like the pasta, or la cacio e pepe, or all of them. So you can make everything you want. I may like the tarte flambé. Tarte flambé, la Flammkuchen, which is with the bacon, what's the name of the cheese? The cream cheese? No, the French one. It's like more or less the taste. No, it's like more or less the onion soup taste. Okay, the taste of the onion soup. So again, you can make everything you want. Everything you want. Sure. I like about the nutmeg from the pizza.
Nutmeg, yeah.
Nutmeg is a drug. It's like the rosemary. Usually are ingredient that you remember the next day.
Ah, interesting.
So if you work with pumpkin, nutmeg is perfect. White pepper, perfect. Yeah. So almost done. 26 seconds. And now we check the crispiness.
So we're about to pull out the finished topped version of the red.
Okay. Ready, Peter?
Yeah.
You ready?
I'm ready. We're going to see that the cross section now.
It is. But look the crust, the bottom of the crust. That's the interesting part. This is when we talk about 120 hours. So over this 96 hours, you can appreciate more a crust like this. So it's not tall like a 72, 96 hour, but the crispiness.
So that's one of the.
This is for me is the champagne pizza. So it's so light, crispy that you cannot. You cannot love it. So, I mean, you have to love it 100%.
Exactly. Yeah. So if did I understand you correctly? You said by going those extra hours, you get a more crisp undercrust than if you do it at, say, 90 hours.
That's correct. Usually, to have a nice crust is 72, 96 hours. If you go over 120, 144, you have less, but more taste, and the lightness is insane.
Yeah. So I saw you hand that one piece off camera, so I'm assuming somebody is eating that piece right now. Right?
Somebody, yeah.
Well, the lucky person, very lucky person. This has been like a master class with you, and you've covered so much. For those who are just starting with episode 3 here with the finished version, go back and see episode 2 where Mas shows us how to put it all together. And what I love, of course, is and I have a friend here in Charlotte where I live who's getting ready to open once they allow the restaurants to reopen here to introduce pizza that he learned to make from you. He went down to your school and studied, and I'm pretty excited because we don't have anybody here in Charlotte yet, doing the Roman style. But I've been predicting it's just going to sweep the nation as more and more people learn how. And then I think it's down to practice and listening to your dough, understanding your equipment, all the things you just taught us, and practice.
With my help, usually I say 3 years to the students. That's my goal. It's like for me it's a great pleasure because I made so many mistakes in my life with my business, and today I can tell you which is what's wrong and what works better, and what's your solution to your problem before that you have the problem. So
yeah, you've got life lessons basically,
yeah,
and so we can save ourselves some aggravation if we listen to, and that's one of the reasons why we love having these pizza masters on Pizza Talk, is because there's so much life experience there. As you said, you may look like a young man, but you've had so many years in the business now, and
27 years.
27 years in the business. That's a lifetime right there.
I'm going to be 47 in August. So.
No, we really, really appreciate having you on with us, and Alex also, who's holding the camera right now, who together, the two of you together have created the. In fact, if people want to reach you guys, they can just write to info@romanpizzaacademy.com. Right? Is that the best way?
Correct.
And we'll put it on the Pizza Quest posting for this episode as well, how to reach you for information. You're teaching classes both to professionals. Are you also teaching to home cooks as well?
To everybody, Michelin star chef to normal, no, for real, to everybody. There is no problem. And when I have bread maker here, I'm shaking because I have so much respect for a bread maker, and I respect them for real because it's a hard worker, and that's real push. We have to give more space to the bread maker today. The only pizza maker. I think bread maker are great.
Well, the bread making world and the pizza world are really converging now and coming together and sharing a lot of knowledge and pushing us to new heights. I always say we've been baking bread for 6,000 years and we're still learning how to make it even better. And it never ends. As you said, you've been making it for 27 years and you're still ongoing perfecting your version. And I think that's part of the journey. A lot of the folks we've talked to here, the people we call the Yodas, the pizza Yodis, they all say that even, John Arena's been in the business 55 years and he still is excited every day because he learns something new every day.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
So it's not boring, no?
I don't think it ever gets boring. At least you don't seem bored. And exactly. Well, Alex Massimiliano, thank you so much for being on Pizza Talk, for sharing all this knowledge. And I'll look forward to seeing you. Hopefully, if the Atlantic City Pizza and Pasta Show happens in October, if they're able to pull it off, then hopefully I'll see you there. And if not, in Vegas, or I just have to get on a plane and come down to Miami, and I'll call you ahead of time so that
welcome anytime. We look forward to it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, and thank you all for joining us on Pizza Talk. We'll see you again soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right.
Okay, so
This is our bonus episode with Massimiliano Saieva showing us yet one more thing in this master class of Roman style.
It's always like this, so there is no time in this case. So again,
We're on Roman time now. So once again, you're inverting the dough pan, giving it a few seconds to separate, and then tapping it out. The dough balls are, as I recall from the last time, a little bit over a kilo. About 2.5.
Super fermented, so that's the idea. It's more, but it's 1.2. Okay.
1.2 kilos, which is about, in pounds, probably about 2.5 pounds. Amazing how supple and yet extensible that dough is. That's so easy to.
Very elastic. But
with my dough, it always seems to want to spring back, but this one just goes where you put it.
No, because I teach the right technique to stretch the dough. So in this case, for the Roman pan pizza, this step is 80% of the success of the pizza in this case. So it's very important the way you stretch. Okay, so is it possible that pizza shrink if you do well the first step? So this one is ready. Now we do the second one. You can see it's equal everywhere. One more time, very gentle. We create the bubbles, open fingers.
Nice.
On top of the left, shake, okay, yeah, center, open, stretch, and stop and go.
You spent a lot of time before you were doing this, full-time in pizza. You were also cooking in fine restaurants and did all sorts of other kinds of culinary work. But how long did it take you to kind of come up with this method, this technique of how you handle the dough and pan it and get it, into place?
I mean, alone, you have to learn. When you're alone, you have to learn alone. You don't have nobody that tells you the way.
Right.
And Miami is not an easy city. Many people know that Miami perhaps is one of the most difficult cities in the US to open a business. So we have more time to improve.
What brought you to Miami in the first place? Why did you originally come to Miami? What was it about Miami that drew you?
I used to live in Venezuela for 8 years.
Minnesota?
Caracas. I own a fine dining restaurant in Caracas for 8 years, more or less.
Venezuela, oh wow.
So I decided for Miami because it was the closest place to Latin America, which I love. And I like the weather in Miami, so why not? Okay, so now I'd like to show you, finally, the crostino pizza.
Okay. Oh, yes. Pizza. Yes, crostino.
Yeah, one is the crostino, and the other one is going to be a red one with the topping on top. So this is for the crostino. We're going to use on top of the dough, rosemary.
So as for those who didn't see the earlier episode, the crostino pizza is no sauce, but toppings. It's more than just the Bianca.
This is garlic,
A little garlic.
white pepper, now we need just some mozzarella to stick to the dough, the ingredient that we're going to use now.
Well, you were breaking up a little bit there. What was that last ingredient that you put on?
This is just mozzarella. I'm going to show you two different crostinos in the same dough. Okay?
Okay. Okay. Oh, I see. Uh-huh.
So applewood smoked bacon.
Uncooked bacon. It's going to cook on the pizza.
That's correct, because I don't want to lose the fat, the smoky flavor.
Yeah, right. It's going to go right in there.
So
Yeah.
for me, it's very important.
That's almost like the magic ingredient.
That's correct. So here we go. Second one. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we put some very good Italian ham.
Okay.
So Peter, just so you know, he's actually making two pizzas on in the same pan. So he'll cut these pizzas in half and he'll sell them as two separate pizzas.
Yeah, so he can get basically, as long as there's not like something that's going to run over into the other one, he can create two different.
Correct.
Here we go.
Or if it was me, I'd just take the two halves and fold them over and then turn them into a hoagie pizza.
Exactly.
Actually, if you want, you can put another dough on top of this one.
Yeah.
Okay? And we can have like a double focaccia. Why not? Very good. So
Have you
now-
ever baked it? Do you bake it that way? Have you ever baked a pizza that way where you bake it with the two crusts?
Yeah. Look this. Now we're going to use more mozzarella, so we're going to protect the ham and the bacon with the mozzarella cheese.
Mozzarella, uh-huh. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so hungry.
Oh, you should see the pizza when it's done. That's the
Yeah.
best part. Now, the crostino is very interesting because it's always better when you reheat the crostino for the customer.
Uh-huh.
Roma's pizza is born to be reheated a second time. So it's much easier for us to make pizza for a bunch of customers.
Yeah.
Because we have pre-baked all the shells, all the pizza. So it's much easier. So now I'm going to use semi-sun-dried tomatoes for the pizza with the smoked bacon.
Did you say that those are sun-dried tomatoes?
Semi-sun-dried tomatoes. I want to feel the pull of the tomato. So the dry, 100% dry tomatoes is not flavor. But the semi-sun-dried is much better. This one is the porcini, mushroom.
Oh my God.
So we have the ham, the mozzarella, the spices under the ham, and the porcini on top. So this one is ready. And now we go with the second one. Which is the pizza.
Back to the sauce.
Peter, ask me everything you want, because I speak a lot. You know that my English is so good that I like to speak so much.
You're doing great. The sauce that you're using, are those tomatoes imported from Italy or are they American tomatoes?
Now, these are actually tomato from Scafati, from Italy.
Uh-huh.
And by Green is the brand. I like very much this brand. Is a nice one for real. So it's 100% tomato sauce, nothing inside, no salt, no basil, nothing. Just pure tomato.
So it's 100% tomatoes, no additional ingredients. So there's no salt, no citric acid,
That's
no
correct.
basil, and the product comes right out of the bag, just like that.
Wow. So that's another part of your business. Alex is in the ingredients side of the business. So you've been importing products from Italy for a long time, right, Alex?
Correct. Yeah, close to. My dad started the company close to 40 years ago.
Oh my God. I imagine that the research for deciding on products is part of the fun, where you get to go over there and meet the producers.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I think that's kind of what stemmed off from how we started this. Is we had all these great ingredients, and we had all the ingredients to sell to the Roman industry, the Roman pizza industry, but we just didn't have the means to, the people just the know-how. So Massimo and I set out on a mission to teach people about the pizza itself and ingredients, like I told you. I mean, everyone says that in this industry. We're really honestly not. It's just, it was we feel that it'll just come.
Yeah.
So,
But they just work hand in glove. Yeah.
Exactly. Teach people how to do this. They're going to fall in love with it. And then everything else, everyone will ultimately benefit from this great product. So,
but the reason I'm asking you this, Alex, is because we've talked to some tomato growers and things like that, and some of the other pizza makers who have, and everyone has their favorite products that they use. What do you look for when you're choosing, like, in this case, tomato ingredients, but in any ingredient? What are some of the qualities that you look for that allow you to decide to bring them into the Manzo line of
Sure, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of companies out there. First thing we look for is the company first. The most important thing is to understand the company that we're working with. We want to make sure that the company knows and wants to work in the United States, because our demands here as a country are quite different than those that are in Italy. And then second, obviously equally as important is the quality. So we go out and we make sure that when we're selecting these partners, we're looking for a company that is very reputable, has great products, quality products, and they've been doing business for quite some time. And then most of our partners, we only source one ingredient, like one style of ingredient. So we have one tomato supplier, one cheese supplier, and we work with them for 30, 40 years at a time. We don't switch around. So we represent the brand more than we represent the products themselves.
Long-term relationships.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So just since we're using your tomatoes, what is that? What brand of tomatoes is that for the people who are interested or watching?
It's outside.
Yeah, that particular brand is Valgri. It's a tomato passata. It comes in a 5 kilo bag. It actually says Pizza Napoli. It started as a Neapolitan product. For Neapolitan pizza, that's what they use in Italy. Many pizzerias use that, even though everyone assumes that you must use a plum tomato, but there's a lot of people use like a passata as a base.
So these are not plum tomatoes. These are different.
Round. They're whole round tomatoes. They're different tomatoes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So going back to the second pizza that Massimiliano was making, that I saw him putting some bacon on it. Was there cheese on that as well, Mas?
That's correct. You asked me before if I use a raw bacon, 100%. So in this case, to make a pizza matriciana, like the pasta, I put some black pepper on top of the tomato sauce. You may use onion too on top of the tomatoes. That's a Sicilian technique to make the tomatoes sweeter, much better. After the onion and the black pepper, you can go with the smoked bacon. Okay? When the pizza is ready, pecorino romano, and you have a beautiful pizza. Now, this one is very interesting. Talking again about the temperature, we are using the same temperature, which is 370 Celsius, but in this case, when we bake a crostino, always because we're making a pizza with less humidity, we don't have the tomato sauce, we have the mozzarella cheese, we should use less power from the top of the oven, right? So let's say 10–20% of the heat, sometimes 0, depending the oven. In this case, smaller, I'm going to use 30% of the heat, but the right side of the oven. So always thin the ingredient and play with the left and the right side. So it's much easier.
Interesting. So you're saying with the crostini style pizza, you reverse the intensity of the heat from in this case, it's more from the top down or from the bottom up?
Yeah, usually crostino and red pie are similar, no? So we have always the bottom like 70% of the heat. So in a scale between 1 to 9, so 10 to 90%, we use 70% to heat the bottom, and then the top we can play, depending the oven, from 0 to 30%.
And so in this case,
it's a lot of number.
But in this case, it's 30% for the costina.
Yeah, you
30%.
know what? It's easy when you know already all the numbers.
Yeah.
Out and then changing, because every time I change places, ovens, brand, and everything, city, I have to change every time the temperature. I was in Mexico, on top of the mountain, with zero humidity. It was a 15% humidity, worse than Phoenix. It was tricky. It was difficult. But we found the way, and I made a nice, beautiful product for a new pizzeria that's going to be for sure a franchising in Leon, Mexico. Insane, the place is very nice. So take a look.
All right.
Look the mozzarella melting, but not burning, because it's the right side of the oven.
Yeah, and then but also because you've got the heat change, you get the bacon cooked at the same time as the crust.
Yeah, and in the other one, you have all the fat and the smoky flavor of the bacon going on top of the tomato sauce. So we don't lose nothing. Okay? So
of course.
Now it's there. 14 seconds. Usually with smart oven, you don't need to turn the tray. Okay?
Really?
With smart oven, you don't need it. But in my case, for my product, I do it. Because for me, it's better after the 5 minutes to see the simple sugar. When I see the simple sugar burning on top of the pie, the crust, I know that it's already the right time to turn the pizza, but I'm removing the extra heat from the oven so I don't burn too much and the pizza is not so dry.
I see. Yep. Starting to see that color.
So baking for me is like to learn a new language. You know that.
Right.
When you make the dough, you have to listen. Not only you watch and you listen the dough. So it's like the dough speaks to us, right? It tells you when to put the next ingredient. It tells you, okay, I'm done, I'm ready. Don't go over. Because if you go over with the time and the temperature, we're gonna make piadina romagnola, we don't make pizza. So be careful. So everything is must be under control. Make me question because I can speak for 3 days.
You're saying what a lot of our master teachers are telling us is that that you have to be able to listen. To be a good cook, you have to be able to listen to the things that you're making. They'll tell you what they need, and you have to respond.
Now, talking about the mixer, you know better than me that we have so many different kind of mixer today. In my case, I prefer the 2-speed spiral mixer because I think that number one is very cheap, perhaps 3 times cheaper than the other one. And the second reason that I love this one is that you can bake everything you want. You can bake the dough for everything you want.
Yes.
100% everything.
Very versatile. Yeah.
Again, you know better than me that the arm mixer keeps 0 temperature to your dough, but takes so long, more minutes to make the dough, so it doesn't work for the Roma. Then we have the planetary mixer, oven, okay? So in that case, we take 10% Celsius more, we give 10% Celsius more to our dough. So, and it's too strong, too fast, okay? So very aggressive, so it doesn't work. And then we have the spiral, only 5 Celsius degrees more if you work the dough for 20 minutes. It's perfect. So the balance is there. It's not too much, that's perfect. Take a look to the crostino.
Sounds like it's about ready, huh?
Looks incredible, smell. It's a shame the computer today cannot give the flavor.
If we could pass the food through the screen,
Oh my God. Yeah.
we would never leave our home. We would just keep passing food through the screen.
That one is going to be the next iPhone, I don't know what.
Yeah, right. The iPhone.
Next year. Too sure about that. So take this.
So we're with, for those who are just joining us, this is Massimo Saieva, who's making the third type of pizza that he was talking about, the crostino, which is where it's a white pizza but with things on top. In this case, bacon, cheese, some herbs, and then the one that you made with the sauce, the red sauce, is that also called? That's not called a crostino. Then what's that called?
It's a red pie. It's a red pizza,
Red
but
pie.
with topping on top. Can be sausage, can be the bacon. So it's easy again to make something different. You can play with spices, for example. If you like the smoked paprika, you can give a different taste with your.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm a great fan of the paprika. So we check the crostino, the bottom.
Oh my gosh.
Looks beautiful. I'm gonna finish the crostino with the last two ingredients. For this one, which is the bacon one, we're gonna use the pecorino romano.
Uh-huh.
And the other one, which is more classic taste, because we have the ham, the porcini, I'm gonna use some Parmigiano.
I see. So yeah, so these are two different pizzas, baked side by side and on one crust, but finished it off in a different way. Now, what is the difference, would you say, between the Romano and the Parmesan in terms of the flavor profile?
The taste is the Parmigiano Grana Padano is lighter in taste than the Pecorino Romano, and you have like a feeling of black pepper taste on the Pecorino Romano. It's very tasty. We love Pecorino raw. And smell much more strong than the normal Parmigiano, Italian Parmigiano. So pizza is almost ready. Few seconds, and I'll show you both pizza. First pizza ready. So this one is going to be the amatriciana, because we're going to use the pecorino romano on top. And this one is the crostino. So why I'm showing you the crostino? Because it's true. Today, a lot of pizza makers like to work with the white pizza and then they put the ingredients on top.
Yeah.
Okay, like the pala and the other one. But if we talk about the real Roman pan pizza and the pala too, we are talking about crostino. So we're talking about the crostino romano. Okay, so this is the authentic Roman white pizza. I say we don't have the tomato sauce. So, can you hear the?
We hear that crackle, yeah.
And it's super light, super light. You can see the bottom.
Oh yeah, beautiful color, yeah.
We respect absolutely the bottom, but in the meantime, we respect the cheese and the topping on top. So that's the idea. Be careful when people cook or bake too much their product. They look too black on top. So you're losing the taste of all the ingredients. So be careful. For me, kitchen, the cuisine means to respect the ingredients, all of them, not just the flour.
Right. But I love the fact that you're getting that golden color, the golden caramelization, and not the that dark brown. But you were describing why if it's undercolor, if you don't get enough gold, then it's over fermented basically, and if it's under fermented, you get caramelization, but you don't get that beautiful gold, kind of a reddish gold that you have, which is really nice. So I did have a question for you. We haven't talked about this at all in the other episodes. These doughs are made with yeast. You use regular commercial yeast for this. Do you ever make doughs using sourdough or natural leaven?
Okay, depending the fermentation that you are doing, that you want to make, and depending the curve of the fermentation, you have to use one yeast or different yeast. Now, if we talk about mother yeast, people think mother yeast is lightness, but many people cannot digest the mother yeast. I am one of them. So for me, to eat a pizza with mother yeast means not long fermented pizza and heavier than this one. 100%. If you try, you compare both products made with mother yeast and this one, which is a commercial yeast, and it's always the same quality. It's not like this. Mother yeast change every day. Fresh yeast change every day. If we have problem with the beer yeast, the delivery is coming with a problem with the refrigerators, you're losing 15, 20, 25% of the quality of the yeast. With the dry yeast, it's just chemistry. There is no mistake. It's just numbers. We're talking about business. We don't talk about product for you, for your house. Business is to give every day, every single day, the top of the quality.
Yes.
And must be always the same.
Well, I understand that, and definitely and that's one of the reasons why commercial yeast is, and dry yeast and powdered yeast are so valuable to the industry, because they give you consistency from time after time after time. Did I understand you correctly when you said that some people, when you're referring to mother yeast, that's kind of what we would call sourdough starter here, the madre, is that something that you say some people have a problem digesting that kind of yeast?
Yeah, it's heavier. The product is heavier.
Interesting.
Then this one, again, if you try this pizza, I use only 0.5% of dry yeast. That means 5 grams for each kilo of flour. But after at least 96 hours, so at least 4 days, you feel 0% of yeast, almost 0% of the simple sugar of the flour. There is nothing, it's just water. It's like you're drinking pizza, not eating pizza. It's really,
I love it. I love it. Now, the pizzas that you just made, are they finished now, or do you drizzle any olive oil or any garnish on top of either of those?
This one is 100% ready.
Ready.
Okay, this one I can finish with just a pecorino romano on top, and that's it. It's ready.
It's ready to go.
It's super fast.
Yeah.
The pizza maker comes to the pizzeria like 3 hours before the opening, so they have time to make all the shells on the pizza. Then they make the pizza display, and when they have to change the pizza on the pizza display on the receipt order, it's very fast because the pizza is already pre-baked.
Now, I see you have a number of pizzas staged and ready to go. Are you actually open for business today? Will people be coming in and buying pizza from you today?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, inside and outside the place, the pizzeria. So of course we respect the law, we respect everything.
Yeah.
And,
but you've been able to. But that's good. You've been able to actually sell pizza even if it's outside to.
There is like respect. People know me and know how I work. So
yeah.
it works.
So you've got your following there, which is great. Well, it is such a perfect, take back to work kind of meal, or take it home with you. As you said, you can even throw it back in the oven when you get it at home that night if you want to re-crisp it.
Actually, we sell to our customers. We sell pizza take and bake. So raw mozzarella, dry mozzarella raw, salami and everything. They go at home 400 Fahrenheit for 3-4 minutes, and the pizza is like a fresh one.
Yeah.
Here. So it's the same quality. The next day or 2 days later, it's the same.
Beautiful, beautiful.
It's a perfect product for business, I think.
Well, this is a perfect time to thank you again. We thought we were finished on our last episode, but then, Brad, one of our producers, said, you know what, he was going to do something with that crostino. So we wanted to get you back, and we appreciate you coming back and giving us another masterclass on the various styles of the Roman pizza, sort of experience, and telling us really a lot of useful information. I think some of our viewers may want to watch this over and over again because there's a lot of great information there. But if you're interested in learning how to do it and taking classes, contact either Massimo or Alex at I think it's info@romanpizzaacademy.com. They'll see those emails and make arrangements to come down. I know that if you've got a pizzeria and you want to incorporate it into your operation, I think you've been known to travel, as you were saying. You'll travel to them and teach their whole staff how to do it in place, right?
That's the idea.
Pretty nice. Love it. Well, listen, I'm going to have to go now because I'm so hungry after watching these that I've got to go make some lunch. But somebody's trying to call me. See that? Sounds like it's time to go. It's good. It's great to see you. Thank you so much. Thank you all for watching, being with Pizza Talk today. Massimiliano, Saieva, Alex Manzo, and the Roman Pizza Academy. And we'll see you next time on Pizza Talk. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Peter. Thank you.
Grazie.
Okay.